Mhm.
So I'm Jennifer Foley. I'm a realtor working in Durham Region, which is just east of Toronto, about 30 minutes.
Mhm.
We're in the Eastern GTA. And my colleague Fane here, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Fain. I'm Fain Grant with Home Life Realty in Abbotsford. So I am located just in the Fraser Valley, which is about 40 minutes east of Vancouver.
Yep, excellent.
Yeah.
So, Fane, you and I were talking a little bit before we got started, and we want to talk about, what the Canadian Real Estate Association has been putting out, some information that we've been reviewing and reading, and add in our own thoughts as well.
Absolutely.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them out there and ask us. We're both doing this on YouTube Live, and we are on Instagram Live. So anybody have any questions, if you're on YouTube watching this in the replay, please post your questions down below. And if you're with us live here, thanks so much. All right. So the Canadian Real Estate Association, is saying that house sales will moderate in 2022. So, I mean, we've seen great leaps and
Mhm.
bounds in appreciation, I think, both in your BC market and here in Ontario.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so, they're saying that they're not expecting prices to ease anytime soon.
Mhm.
And what are you seeing where you are in terms of home
Yeah,
prices?
I think that a lot of people, I think the mindset of a lot of people is that there could potentially be a quote unquote crash for 2022. But all of the predictions that we're seeing is that it's still going to continue to rise just as it is.
Yeah,
We're seeing absolutely no sign of anything slowing down. Multiple offers, even here in Abbotsford, which is not even the city of Vancouver, which of course is one of the highest cities, of course, as you know, most expensive cities to live in. But even out here in Abbotsford, yeah, we're seeing multiple offers. Single family detached homes are still, there's still always going to be offer presentation date as soon as the home hits the market. It's okay, not when can we go and see it, it's when are you doing showings and what's your offer presentation date and time. So
yeah.
this tells us too, I mean, it's definitely cohesive with the concept of there being a lot more buyers than there is inventory. And I think that that's what's been that's been the challenge, and that's how it's going to
100%.
continue to look, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they were saying about sales being down in December, and I think a lot of that is because listing numbers were down. So, like,
That's
even
exactly it. Yep.
yeah, like right before Christmas, we were seeing huge number of offers
Hmm.
on a single property. I saw one property a couple days before Christmas had like 23, 24 offers. It was in a
Yeah.
price point that was great for entry level buyers, like first time buyers to get into the market. And they're predicting that they're not going to see any prices easing anytime soon.
Hmm.
So I think it's a good time that if people want to get into the market, that they should still consider trying to get in there with interest rates being as low as they are.
Yeah.
I know you and I did another video on this, and I think it's a great opportunity and time for people to get into the market.
For sure.
Um, Other than, I think, for first time buyers, I think some of the challenges are around that buying under a million now that our average home prices are up in the million range now. And
Absolutely.
seen that firsthand with so I think that's where we're going to have to come up with some ways around that to get these buyers into the market. But
Hmm.
for move up buyers, certainly there's the leverage of taking some of the equity that they've built over the last few
Yes.
years and getting into another property. But supply continues to be really low, and I think there's a number of different reasons for that, not just builders, but I think
Hmm.
people buying investment properties, or
Yes.
they're refinancing and keeping properties and buying a second or third property. And
Hmm.
so those properties, we're not getting them coming to market either. So then that
Yeah.
creates this huge demand for people
For
from
sure.
the buyer end.
Well, and to add to that as well, I also think that smaller cities that are outside of the epicenter of the center of Toronto or Vancouver, with people working from home, we're seeing a lot of people move into the areas where we're typically used to seeing quite a bit more opportunity, more bang for your buck, so to speak. And while that is still the case dollar for dollar. The demand is still there. So even in Abbotsford, Chilliwack, even Hope, the demand is quite high, and we're not used to seeing that, right? I mean, typically, yes, in Vancouver it's quite busy, but then once you get into the smaller areas, then usually you think it's going to be quite easy to get yourself a home, and it's just not the case.
Yeah, so we've got a question, which is a question that we've been talking about today, is will the
Yeah.
Canadian home prices go down in 2022? And, they're saying that we're not really seeing any forecasts for that, Melvin. No, it's not looking that way, at least right now.
Mhm.
We've got a couple of mortgage people that have joined us here. And I don't know if you can see it on your end there, FAEINE, but we've got a couple of people that are watching that it would be
Yeah.
great if one of them wanted to join us. I'm not sure if we can do have 3 people on here on Instagram, but it would be
Yeah.
great to get their insight. So
Absolutely.
yeah, but anyhow, we'll finish up our YouTube live, and they're
Yeah,
saying
absolutely.
that lowest prices being still Newfoundland and New Brunswick, so the
Yep.
East Coast, and your area in BC and my area here in Ontario still going to be the highest price point. Yeah.
That's true. Lucky us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, they think that, right, with realtors, but it gets frustrating with those buyers that can't compete at
oh,
at a level that they want to.
absolutely. I think that's been the
Um,
hardest part this year too, is just being the bad news bearer for so many buyers, and it's heartbreaking to see they keep, their struggle becomes our struggle, because of course you and I, we care about our clients so much, and
exactly.
it's hard not to feel the pressure, really, of it's hard to buy a property. Well, it's quite hard on us too, and just
100%.
because we don't like seeing, we don't, we want a good experience and a good outcome for our clients. Um, One thing that I also just wanted to mention is I was actually looking at pwc.com, and they gave us a few cities that are not part of the 5 main cities, but other key Canadian cities to kind of look out for. And apparently Ottawa's on the rise. So is Halifax, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Quebec City, and Saskatoon.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised to see that.
Oh, so I think Mortgages with Tyler would like to join us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so let's just wrap up our YouTube video quickly, and then we'll carry on with, we'll see if we can bring Tyler in there. Maybe Tyler, you can ask to join, and we'll see if we can bring you in. But in terms of national home prices, they
Mhm.
say from November 2020 to November 2021, they're up 19.6% nationally across Canada. You've talked about the key cities to follow. We talked about that. And
Mhm.
then, just want to quickly talk about the next test when interest rates go up.
Right. Yeah.
So they are talking about that. So, what's your take on that? How it will impact things?
Oh, definitely. Well, I think, if they start talking about interest rates rising and it actually starts to happen, what I think, I mean, historically speaking, what's going to happen is that we're going to see a slight surge, because everybody's going to want to get their purchase locked in. And so there's going to be this crazy demand for a short period of time. And then it will, all of a sudden, it will just go like crickets for a little while, because everybody's just going to be kind of waiting to see what happens. And
100%. I agree
yeah,
with you on that,
yeah,
right? So, and that answers Melvin's question, right? Around, home
totally.
prices going down. I think that if they raise interest rates, we're going to see a bit of a pullback
For
in some
sure.
of the pricing. I don't think it'll be anything long term. I think it'll be that initial, like you said, surge,
Yeah,
slow down, sort of
yeah.
plateau out, and then you'll have that moderate increase in pricing, not anything like we've seen in the last year. So,
For sure.
um,
Well, and I mean, and just like anything as well, I mean, the market can't stay like this forever. Like long term wise, yes, it feels like it's been like this for quite a long time, being that, 2020 it kind of started, and then it's just been getting progressively more, more uh tight and more pressure, but it can't stay
mhm.
like this forever. There's just
No.
there's no way, right? So we're going to have to see a correction eventually. And I do think that, also if there's going to be other rules implemented, such as something equivalent to the foreign buyers tax, or changes in the way people, the industry is done. I know that there's some conversation here in BC about, having a mandatory 7-day rescission period for resale properties. So, and that's, to eliminate the risk that's required with subject free offers. And we don't know how that's going to impact the market, but I mean any change in real estate and how things are going to happen, I do think is going to
I lost you,
sorry, I
FAEINE.
just had a call there on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just had a call there that I had. Am I back? No?
You're back. You're back.
Okay. Sorry, I had a call coming in on that. I we're used to doing things over the computer, and I'm doing things on my phone right now. I wasn't expecting that. But anyways, yeah. So any change in real estate, we're going to see a little bit. People, they always sort of stop and freeze, but everything will balance out eventually. So I do really think that that's going to happen here as well too. It's just going to take some time.
I think it'll be across Canada for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's end our YouTube. Thanks guys for watching.
Thanks everyone.